I haven't really seen anything different that it makes me wonder how bad it is, actually.
It's been in the Aggie, there's been a few articles about it, and I'm just wondering, like, what's your general sense of what's going on?
Well, I went to the protests yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Both. And so, I mean, like, I know about, like, the budget cuts and, like, how a lot of the people on the top aren't getting any kind of cut, even though, like, we're getting all these increases. I know that teachers are getting furloughed or fired, that certain departments are getting cut specifically, like I know ethnic studies and there's the feminine studies and stuff. A few of those departments are specifically getting hit. And then, I mean, I know it's just like statewide. There's like, because my mom's a teacher at San Francisco State.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
okay,
so,
that's so cool.
because she's a CSU professor, I like really understand like that a lot of schools throughout the state are getting hit like really badly. Like it's like, am I getting the same education as someone who's paying like, who's like, do you have to go to a private school now to get like a really good education? And like it shouldn't be that way, you know? Like
It's 12:50, 1 o'clock-ish, and we're on, what street is this? Hutchinson?
It's that street that goes all the way to the Silo Terminal.
The Silo Terminal.
Right next to the library.
Yeah. Which department are you in?
Biology.
Biology?
Undeclared.
Oh, okay.
Going to go into biotechnology.
Yeah. Do you know anything about how your department is being affected by the budget cuts?
I don't know anything about the biological department specifically, but
Yeah.
I don't, like, I know in general there's been some like cutbacks and teachers have been encouraged to take days off. I forget what they're called.
Furloughs?
Furloughs.
So you're not really concerned at all about like the department or the research that you'd want to be doing or like the kind of classes you want to take? Are you at all like, is that all in your consciousness? I guess what I'm wondering. Like, I mean, like it's the easy answer would be like, oh yes, but I mean, like I guess I'm just wondering like from your point of view, are you really all that concerned about the biology department?
I'm not concerned much about the biology department because it's
Yeah.
a really big department. It's really
Right.
important on Davis.
Yeah,
So,
for
I mean,
sure.
I don't
yeah.
really, like maybe some of the more esoteric classes, I can't list any off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But they've
Like
been-
textiles.
Yeah, like they've been cutting things from, say, the textiles department. I don't see them cutting general biology classes.
Yeah.
Or even the more specific ones, like genetics classes.
Yeah.
Also, like, Davis gets a lot of money due to research grants.
Right,
So I
yeah.
don't really see them cutting that back.
Yeah. Well, did you know that what a lot of people have been saying anyway about privatization of funds is that with private funds come a lot of strings attached, and with strings, usually like if it's some corporation, then they're gonna want to have research done on something that's immediately marketable. So a lot of concern has been that there'll be restrictions on what people can research. Like there won't be funds for any kind of like basic research. So like out with string theory, out with Einstein, in with Bill Gates, you know, in with pharmaceutical stuff, because you can market, you know, a drug that'll help you sleep better. But in terms of like developing more ideas about all these crazy new dimensions that they're not new, but you know, all these crazy additional dimensions they're talking about with string theory, there's not really as much like funding for that kind of basic research stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be, if you privatize, there's definitely going to be less basic science, but the UCs are mostly, basically the University of California.
Yeah.
There's a lot of basic science research done.
Okay.
A lot of it funded by the government and the state.
Yeah.
And this privatized, like, it's not so much privatized as an outside company offers the UC a package and then they can accept or not. The outside companies are like, hey, we want you to do research.
Yeah.
And she's like, so how much? The outside company's like, we'll give you this much.
Yeah.
He's like, all right. I see it as nice because it basically gives you more research opportunities. There's more positions available, which are almost certainly paid for the privatized ones. And you might not be doing basic science, you're doing applied science, like research for a specific purpose instead of just research for research's sake.
Right.
But there are more spots open. And I don't see it being like that sort of mass privatization being a problem at the UCs because we're University of California. Like government does a lot of research here.
Because it's
Berkeley, I see it as more opportunities. Though they're not in necessarily basic science.
Okay, yeah, I think that's really helpful. Thank you for talking with me today. Is there anything, I'm just going to leave a space, is there anything else that you want to add about like education or like what they're doing or anything that we've been kind of talking around?
Yeah, just one quick thing is there's been a lot of protests about the universities cutting budgets, which is, I mean, of course that's what they're doing, but the problem in that, like, they're cutting the budgets because the state cut its budget, and the state has like funds that are supposed to go to the universities, and but with the financial crisis, the state's like, you don't really need these extra funds, do you, universities?
No.
So they basically hold back from the universities. So the university was like, what? We're getting shafted.
Yeah, at first I didn't understand why the tuition was increasing until like my professor, he was saying why we should protest because the fact that there's a lot of construction going around, and I think the only one reasonable thing is to stop the construction and not increase the tuition. So I think most of the time when you increase the tuition, it's going to the construction works when you should just shut it down. That's what I heard. So I don't know if it's true, but then that's what my professor would tell me. So it's like a good reason why you should protest. You know, there's like other method to like not increase tuition, but they chose this route. Yeah. I believe they have a very good reason to behave. I also kind of think about the downside of them kind of preventing like the tuition increase, because I know that if they stop the tuition increase, they might kind of eliminate like these laboratory classes from like one of my courses like is being starting to shut down right now because they might not have enough money to have courses to support like MCB 140L or any lab courses right now. So sometimes I think about the downside and also think about the good side about these protests. Oh, I noticed that less microscope was being taken out. I didn't ask why, but that's something that I noticed. And I don't know, it's like the cells that they provide us and the reagent was not enough to like study. It was being like hold back a lot because it's really expensive to like buy these type of cells. And then so it's like mainly all the students had to like share like 1 or 2 slides, so that every time that slide was being passed down, it's kind of become more contaminated or more photo bleached. You cannot see the cell as well. So it's like sharing the slide is not really good in helping us understand what's going on in the cell.
That sounds like a problem.
Yeah, because everyone was sharing like the slides, and we were passing it around and trying to ask, are you guys done? It's like kind of really causing a hassle on us. I do know how they are feeling, where they are coming from a background where they don't have enough money, their family don't make enough. Like my parents, they don't really make enough. So I really understand like with this tuition increase, it's gonna create a struggle on paying for the tuition fees and everything. So it's like them protesting is a really good approach. So I'm not totally against it, but I also think like if they prevent the tuition fee, then it might affect other courses too that that are very beneficial.
If